Hi, welcome to another edition of Techbytes, the ServiceNow podcast that helps you use the product better by providing tips and tricks you can implement on your instance. I'm Suzanne Smith. I'll be your host once again. And today I am very happy to have Pat DeMartine here. Hi, Pat.
Hi, Suzanne.
Pat has been with ServiceNow for 3 years. He is a director in our product management organization, and he has done numerous things during his time here, correct?
I have.
You have. But today we are going to talk about the ServiceNow Developer Program. This is a program that enables developers to get an instance and play around with ServiceNow. And I'm going to let Pat describe it better than I do. You want to give us a little introduction to it?
I'd be delighted.
Thank you.
So what the developer program is to really get people enthused about the ServiceNow platform. We all are raving fans of it. Our customers are raving fans. We really wanted to get people that didn't understand what it was to get access and to be able to understand how powerful of a development environment this is, that they could get rid of these complex Excel spreadsheets and do it within an environment that's built for lists and forms, for workflow, and to be able to get the common things that you need to do within an enterprise done.
That's excellent. How does a person who is interested in this start?
Well, it's pretty easy. You go to developer.servicenow.com and click the register button in the upper right. And away you go. We don't ask for much. We don't ask for social security numbers or credit cards or anything.
Firstborn child.
No, none of that.
Like that.
We just ask you for your name and email address. And I think we now ask for country because we want to make sure that if there's some opportunities that we target you correctly. And then we ask, what are you trying to do? And so that we can follow up and make sure that you were successful and what you're trying to accomplish. So that we can better gear what the content is on the site.
And what's really amazing, I think, about this program, one of the amazing things is that after people register, they really get a number of cool things with this program.
They do.
They get an instance.
The big one is an instance.
You get an instance.
You get an instance. You also have access to the ServiceNow APIs. So we have a full API reference that's out there that is one gigantic page that you can search and easily find the things that you're looking for to be able to understand if you're an advanced developer. If you're not an advanced developer, we have a series of courses that introduce you not only to the platform, but also to coding, for deploying applications, for integrating. Also, we have an advanced UI course and a course that really walks you through some of the native platform features that we have, like service catalog and reporting and workflow.
So there's the instance, there's online training, and that's totally self-paced. Do it when you can. Library of resources. So the APIs?
The APIs, we also have documentation, developer-specific documentation that's aimed directly at folks that are trying to build applications.
There are also events online?
Yeah, we have those. We do that through the community. We actually have a dedicated space on the ServiceNow community, which is Develop, which we affectionately call the developer community. And in that, we've actually run a few events. We have webinars. We're looking at doing some more events where people can really engage, so that when they're going through some of these courses and maybe they got stuck, we'll actually find who these people are and say, hey, why don't you come during like open hours like you would have at college, right? Where you have some experts online, we'll walk through it like a virtual lab. So we're really looking at it really going from just webinars to something that's more engaging, where you can really get through some of the things that you wanted to, but you just couldn't.
And I have to ask this question because it's one of my favorite things about this program. How much does it cost to join this program, Pat?
It's a huge number. It's zero. So it costs nothing. We wanted to. It was very great. Frank Slootman, the CEO of the company, when we were pitching this idea to him, he gave us one overall charge command that we needed to do, which was friction free. We wanted to make it as friction free as possible. So everything that you have, from the registration, the zero cost, to the training and the documentation that you can actually get to without registering, it was all done with that one command in mind, which is friction free.
That's great. And as developers are using their instance and working on things, if they need help, they get that within the developer community?
Yeah, what we wanted to do is we wanted to make this very scalable, right? So we've gone from 200 when we started our early access before Knowledge 15 to we're over 20,000 developers today. So we're actually at 21,000. So it's been
And that's just this year.
It's just this year, and we haven't really advertised it other than the Knowledge event, and no big splash. And it's because we only had a limited number of instances, so we didn't want to go too big of a splash. The good news is that we're getting a bunch of new instances next year, so we're doubling the number of instances that we have, and so then you'll start seeing us talk about it a lot more. You'll start seeing a lot more of these engagement activities. So,
what are developers using their instance for? What are you hearing that they're doing, and are they doing what you thought they were going to be doing?
So it's really great. The expectation is that we would see people get an instance, do some stuff, and then not use it anymore. Well, we're seeing people have instances. Actually, a third of the people have had an instance for well over a month. And they're actually doing something. The way that we look at the instance is we look for people that are doing developerish type activities, adding a table, field, adding a script, and that's how we detect how if somebody's actually working on it. Because if you don't use it for 10 days, we then we pull it for the next person that can and is willing to do something. And it's really exciting. We look at how many apps are on each one of these, and we see quite a bit of applications. If there's usually one, we know that they're just doing the training, which is awesome. We're happy for people to do that. That's definitely a valid use case. We really like when we see 6 or more, because we know people are really trying this out and doing some interesting things.
Now, are people using applications on their instance, or are they writing new applications on their instance?
Those would be writing.
Okay.
And it is still the minority. And we do see people actually using it for, we've had some people actually test out project and portfolio management. So various applications on the instance as well. And these instances actually have the ability to activate plugins that typically support has the only ability to do so. So things like discovery and orchestration. And we went to those teams because we were asked, hey, can we activate this on the developer instance? And we got permission. So almost everything from the ITOM business unit is activatable. Performance analytics is activated. We're now looking at seeing what other things that are people looking for, and if we can go ahead and get those activated as well. So, and it's all through the self-service. It's all incredibly easy. So
they have access to things like discovery and orchestration and all of those on that instance.
Take a look at them themselves.
That's great. Now, people get one personal instance, right?
One personal instance.
Okay, because
yes.
I'm sure you've been asked for...
We've been asked for a lot of things. We've been asked for a longer period than 10 days because a lot of people go on vacation for more than 10 days. We've been asked for multiple instances, like you said. But yeah, in order to be able to keep that price at such a nice, place, we've had to really be cognizant of the massive investment that ServiceNow has made into this program.
And even if someone loses that instance after 10 days, they can get another one, correct? There is a mechanism.
Absolutely. You can just go ahead and re-request it. What's really great is that we key those instances. So underneath, every developer is given a unique key so that any application that they write or anything that they do and they're able to save off as an update set, they can reload it to the new instance and it'll be just fine. It'll be like they never lost it. So I know there's a lot of people that panic. Oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my instance. It's not the end of the world. If you save off your work as an update set, you can just reload it back on and away you go, just where you left off.
That's fantastic. So anything they've done is recoverable, and you can get that back. They can go on vacation without worrying.
Absolutely. You can take that 10-day vacation.
You can take that 10-day vacation and you will be okay. Is there anything that you thought more people would be doing on their instance that they're not, and you would tell them to try?
Yeah, we thought, it's interesting. We've been able to take a look at the user community in two different camps. The first camp is those that are very experienced, and we see those people that are really utilizing it. We acknowledge the fact that when a company gets sub-production instances that they're very valuable. They don't have enough, use of those. You get a development, a test, and a production, and you do not touch those to just try things out. And we're really excited. I mean, it's great to go to Snugs and hear people just say, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. We now can try all the things that we never could before on the instance. We're really doing some things that we always thought we could do, but we could never test out." And I'd like to see people do that more. I think it's only a small community of very technical folks that we have. What I'd love to do is get the majority of folks to that particular point to say, you know what, I bet I could solve one crazy business problem on this on these instances and go ahead and try. But we're very happy for folks to go out there and just take a look at project portfolio management or service watch or discovery or orchestration, things that they haven't yet used the platform for. If you're able to solve a business problem for your company and become more valuable, that's the whole intent of the program.
So they're doing things on the instance that they get in this program that they were not trying on subprods.
Absolutely.
And not because they were
you can't risk them, right? You've got a critical project. That's what development's for, right? And then test, you can't touch at all because that's, just making sure that everything's all right before you get to the production environment. And they just didn't have enough instance availability to do these things. So yeah, I've heard that at multiple Snugs. It's really great to see that we've had the reaction that we've had from the ServiceNow community. Now, where I think we'd like to go is I'd like to head to a point where, to answer your question even further. Sorry, I'm going to go there.
You're getting there. I know it.
We've done an incredible job with the ServiceNow community, and it makes sense because we announced this at Knowledge. We didn't really go outside of our installed base, and there are a lot of raving fans there already in our partners. What I'd like to see is us go beyond it, to show the world what our customers know, which is that this is an incredible platform and how easy it is to write applications on it.
So they're really able to try a lot of the customizations and tweaks.
And just outright writing some strange applications, right?
Writing strange applications and giving that a try in this little playground of an instance.
Before they go out and try it on their own instances, right? The ones where they can't mess around with all that much, but they've already proven it out.
Now, has anyone taken an application or work that they've done on one of these developer instances and moved it into their working instance?
We've heard that they've done this.
Urban legends around that?
We'd like to be able to track that more. It should be relatively easy. The problem is that because these are keyed for the developer, there's some work that we can kind of track, but they'd have to rewrite it a little bit to get it into their instance. What we'd like to do, their customer instance, what we'd like to do is make that a lot easier, and so that we can also track that how beneficial the program is. I think that's going to be the telltale sign if this program is successful, that they've done something, they're able to move it into their customer instance and then be the hero that we know that they are for their organizations.
And you'll probably hear about that at a Snug or at Knowledge or
we hear those things, but I'd like to track it, right? I'd rather it not just be word of mouth. I'd rather be able to say, oh, it's 30% that have done that, right? Yeah. And I can't do that just yet.
Just yet. We'll stay tuned for more on that. Another part of the program, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, is that people in this program had access to the latest release, Geneva, a little earlier than some others.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
is that a feature of the program that you think will continue in the future? And was it beneficial? And wasn't there even a document or something with that said what's new in Geneva for developers?
Yeah, what we did is we utilized the community to talk about, here are the things that are coming in Geneva that developers should care about. And there were a couple of great features.
Because that is a very specialized, it is a specialized audience.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. And you really want to make sure that you narrow it just for them. You don't want to say, oh, here's all the, you look at the roadmap, and I'm one of the few people, there's a select group that can deliver it. And it's 80 slides long, and you're taking an hour and you're going fast. And so developers are really interested in, okay, so what do I need to worry about? And so what we were able to do is go in a little bit more depth than even the roadmap went into. So it was great to give them that forewarning. And yes, we did did give folks access to Geneva earlier than most folks. So they had access in mid-November. And it's been very successful. We had over 1,000 folks take us up on that upgrade offer. It wasn't really well advertised. And we've heard some really great feedback. Some folks that have been very excited. We've even seen a couple of posts on Reddit where they were like, have you seen what ServiceNow has done? And I know that, there's not a lot of excitement that we pre-announce things very much, but we've been talking about the new developer environment, the IDE. We've been talking about the new script editor that auto completes and auto checks your scripts. So it wasn't like that was a big secret, but it was really good to see the validation of people really falling in love with it in not only our own community, but outside of our community.
And I'm sure they were pleased to get that early peek at what was coming.
Yeah, we saw there were a lot of customers that were really grateful because, they can only digest it as fast as they get access to it. And so it's usually a good ramp, about 3, 4, 5 months for most companies. And for them to get access now just meant that they can absorb it much more quickly. So we were really excited about that. We're really excited to get in the hands of partners that are able to be prepared and get ready for this release so that they can be ready to start implementing as soon as possible. And really excited for our ISV partners to be able to then get their integrations up and running and ready, so that those aren't the things that are holding customers back. So I think the benefits greatly outweigh any kind of benefit that we would get that, everybody gets access by day, this day. You see a lot of developer programs providing early access, Microsoft, Apple, and it just makes sense. You need to get your community of folks that are enabling the platform ready for the platform before it's generally available to everyone.
That's great, and I'm glad to hear that you think that's going to continue
in
the future.
It is. It was very successful. The folks handled it great. They didn't do some of the things that we were nervous that they potentially could do, like pre-announce everything to the world. Nobody did that. Thank you. And we saw the benefits really outweigh the negativity of potentially releasing early. So it's been a fantastic success, and we'll definitely replicate it in the Helsinki timeframe.
That's great. You mentioned partners. We have several different kinds of partners.
We do.
At ServiceNow. A couple of months ago, we had Grant Hulbert on the podcast to talk about the Technology Partner Program. And I know that there's a bit of confusion between the Technology Partner Program and the Developer Program. Can you kind of tell people what the difference is between those two, just so that's clear?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you were to look at it as this continuum, right, where we want to invite people in and take a look at the platform, be able to get the resources to be able to understand, be able to build applications, to be able to do that as a novice or as an expert, both in developing and on the platform itself. That's really the developer program. You get one free instance, access to resources. The Technology Partner Program is really for those that go, you know what? I love this platform. And this is really why we want to go outside of our ecosystem as well, is because we want to entice people to be able to join the ecosystem, not only as customers, but also as partners, those folks that are building the next great app, right? So that folks can buy it. And that's really where the Technology Partner Program comes in. We actually have an ad on the developer site for people to become a partner. And that's where you get to pay, a subscription fee, a $5,000 subscription fee, be able to get a couple of instances that don't disappear after 10 days if you're not active on them. And it really is intended for you to be able to join the ecosystem by developing applications and then putting them on the store. So I actually have responsibility for all three properties, for the developer site, for the Technology Partner Program, and then for the store. And you can see that ecosystem and why we're trying to drive the beginning of the funnel, getting people excited about our, the ServiceNow ecosystem, people to be able to be established and be able to build on the ecosystem, and then be able to then sell on the ecosystem, to the ecosystem.
Thank you. That even helps me understand how those three work together, and that continuum. I think it's interesting too that our customer has kind of changed in the past couple of years. We had the early adopters that were super technical, and now we're getting more users that are not quite as technical, that might not be IT admin types. And so when you have our longtime customers or new customers that are very advanced, they might jump into something like the developer program right away, and other customers will take longer to get to that point. Have you seen that kind of change in customers where we've got a wider range now of customers between the super technical and then more of the users?
Yeah, I would agree, and I think that comes from the fact that the platform was really sold as an ITSM solution to begin with, and that's what people saw it as, and they really didn't see it as a potential replacement for SharePoint or the really complex spreadsheet. And at this point, as we move away from we're just an ITSM company, but a enterprise service management company, and what does that entail? And that, really it's your imagination, which is the limit of what you can solve with the platform. We're moving away from it's just a tool to do incident problem change to it is a platform by which you can solve business problems. And as we move towards that side, even the novice users are now like, oh, okay, well, what can I do now in ServiceNow? And we want to be able to embrace those folks. It's funny, I was the one that wrote the platform introduction course, and I was like, who's gonna go through this course? I mean, really? I mean, we know that it's going to the folks that already know the platform, right? We have the install base was our first target. Who's going to look at it? Turns out it's the most viewed one. We get a lot of compliments. Oh, thank you. I finally understand how to use the platform better. And so
that was surprising.
Yeah, that was the biggest surprise. I was like, well, this is going to be a waste of money. And it turned out to be the most valuable thing I've done in a while. So it's great. We do have a wide breadth of users, and we are seeing some folks that are a little bit more inexperienced that are able to get that experience and go as far as they want, as fast as they want. So
through that continuum.
Really, really excited. Yeah. And there are a lot of customers will never hit the technology partner program, and we're fine with that, right?
Yeah. I want to mention the Knowledge Conference because I think the CreatorCon was enormously successful this year. Anyone who attended and got to hear Fred Luddy and Pat Casey talk had a very valuable experience. And that was a lot of the people that are now in this developer program, correct?
Yeah, actually, there's, with 21,000, there's them and a few more.
Yes. And that will take place again next year at the Knowledge Conference. Will it be different, the same, bigger?
It's going to be a little bit different. So one of the acknowledgments was, well, there's a few acknowledgments. We're trying to figure out how to make this work. We don't want it to conflict with the rest of the great content that's going on, but there was an acknowledgement that if by putting it right at the end, that's a really long conference for those folks because it's the more technical people that tend to go. They go to the courses at the very beginning of the week, right on Sunday, and they're not. And then you've got this great event at the end, and certifications that are going. The certified application developer that's going on at the same time. So we're trying to figure out how do we integrate it a little bit more in the overall conference so that it's not starting on the very end. It was a really great experience. It was incredible to be there. It was a much smaller grouping of folks, and a lot of people said that it felt like the knowledges of old because of it was that more tight-knit community that these people had very similar aspirations and goals, and they could talk to each other and solve problems, and it was some of the more valuable sessions and content that people thought that they had at that knowledge. Of course, for that group, it would have been. So what we're trying to do this time is, it was all ServiceNow. These are some really intensely smart folks. We'd like to engage them a lot more this year. And so there's going to be a call for papers actually relatively soon if it hasn't happened. I think with the invite's gone out, but not the call for papers. That'll happen relatively soon.
Specifically for
CreatorCon itself, not for knowledge. So we wanted to get some of these incredibly smart folks that we have in our ecosystem because you can learn as much, if not more, from those folks than you can from ServiceNow saying, oh, here's all the things that are going on. We just didn't want it to be a monologue. We wanted it to be a dialogue. So that's one of the big changes. But a lot of things really worked. The experts that were at tables and that didn't work really well because people didn't realize who they were. So we're going to try to make that a little bit more obvious, and so that people understand who's sitting at the table. That you have access to people that you would never know that you would. I mean, these people would get really excited, and we need to advertise that a little bit better.
That kind of harks back to early knowledges where you could book a slot of time with a developer.
Right.
Yeah. So now they're sitting there if you realize who it is.
Yeah. Then not many people realized who was sitting there, and it ran right over a lot of the sessions. So definitely a little bit spread out, a little bit more organized, making sure that the smart people in the ecosystem from partners and customers have an ability to talk. And then the unfettered access that we were giving folks is a little bit better advertised.
That's fantastic. This program has gone so far in less than a year. That is amazing.
It's been great. It's been really great. I've been really excited. It's been great because the success has kind of fed on itself. So literally we haven't advertised it. So it's all word of mouth that's going on with, you can see that the initial kick from K15, and then you can see how it's the word of mouth that's really led to where we are today at 21,000. And so thank you everyone that's helped with that. I really appreciate that. It's great to see that a lot of people have found success and value in the program. And we've also seen a lot of success in the community as well, where folks are actually answering each other's questions. It's just so incredible.
That's great. Pat, thank you very much for being here today. This has been a lot of really good information. We're going to stay tuned for more. If we've got 21,000 now, who knows how many we'll have in a year from now.
Definitely.
We might have to bring you back and talk some more.
I would love to.
That would be awesome. For our listeners, if you want more information about the developer program, as Pat said at the beginning, go to developer.servicenow.com, hit that register button, and get the instance and start playing around with it. And if you can, visit the Knowledge Conference and attend CreatorCon or be a presenter there.
Thank you. Yes, definitely.
Excellent. Thank you. This has been another episode of Techbytes. We will see you again soon.